Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. And right here I just have some sparkling water with raspberries in it, and I've been addicted to drinking beverages in fancy cups because I don't know, I just feel like it's self-care. And I have my beverage right on top of a handmade resin by Bianca coaster. Yes. You can find that on my Etsy shop. The link will be down below. Shameless self-promo there. And in today's video, I have for you what's on my Kindle. So this is books that I have been reading this year, books that I just picked up, and why I'm no longer reading self-help books. And I don't mean indefinitely, but I will explain more of that later on in the video. So first, I will get started with what I read this year. I just picked up the habit of reading again, so I've been kind of slow in the beginning, but I'm getting a lot faster. Alright, so we'll start off with the first book I read, which was Of Mice and Men. I read this in high school and I just wanted to reread it because it was kind of like a legendary book. And obviously, like, it touches on real topics, and I just think it's a really great book to reread once in a while. So the synopsis for Of Mice and Men was, it's a novella written by John Steinbeck. It narrates the experiences of George Milton and Lenny Small, two displaced migrant ranch workers who move from place to place in California in search of new job opportunities during the Great Depression in the United States. So that's definitely a classic. It's a classic read. And yeah, I mean, I highly suggest it. If you didn't read it in high school, I just think it's a classic. And that one was an 8 out of 10. The next book that I read this year was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. So it was definitely an interesting plot and storyline. The book was very hard to read though, just because it was from like an olden times. And then about Brave New World, it is a dystopian social science fiction novel written in 1931 actually. So that one's also old. It's also a classic. I just think some of the things that they are talking about in the dystopian world is kind of what's kind of happening today. And like us getting stuck in and being controlled a little bit. I think it was a great read. It was just really hard because my attention span is terrible. But yeah, I really liked that book and I thought it was like really interesting. It's something I would definitely watch. I just think the writing was hard to read, but I highly suggest that book. And that one was an 8 out of 10. The next book that I read was Little Secrets by Jennifer Hiller. This book was so good. I definitely did not expect what was going to happen. I didn't expect it to be that crazy of a book. So Little Secrets is more of a suspense, like mystery book. It was really a page turner and it was something that I could breeze through super quick, which I haven't been able to do in a long time. As you heard from the previous books that I read, it wasn't really fast reads, but this one was definitely a page turner. It says here that this is a psychological suspense story with a big beating heart at its core. It centers around a married couple with a picture-perfect life, and Maureen and Derek are their names, and they show that they have it all. They have money, they have a successful business, and a beautiful home and adorable son whom they adore named Sebastian. And that one was definitely a 9 out of 10. See, with mystery and suspense books, I think they're real page turners, but the style of writing isn't as artistic in my opinion. I mean, I could totally get, like, someone could call me out on this, but I just think there's more artistic styles that are really interesting to read and is like, what the heck, how does an author even think of this stuff? Which brings us on to the next book. So, if you haven't heard of Haruki Murakami, he is an amazing writer. His writing is just so different and he explains things so eloquently. Just like the storylines, the plots, each character is just crazy. And just seeing how each character plays into the stories. I've read him previously, but I decided to read a third book by him, and it is Kafka on the Shore. In the beginning, I would say about the first 20 pages start off slow, only because you're super confused on what's going on, but at the end, everything ties together, and it's so crazy. In the beginning, like, I was reading pretty slowly, but at the end, I was like, it was page turner. But his writing is more artistic and different, so it was still a little bit slower than suspense and mystery books. So Kafka on the Shore is powered by two remarkable characters, a teenage boy named Kafka, who runs away from home either to escape a gruesome Oedipal prophecy or to search for his long missing mother and sister, and an aging simpleton called Nakata, who never recovered from a wartime affliction and is now drawn towards Kafka for reasons that, like most basic activities of daily life, he cannot fathom. See, even the synopsis, the writing is just different. As their paths converge and the reasons for that converge become clear, Haruki Murakami unfolds readers in a world where cats talk, fish fall from the sky, and spirits slip out of their bodies to make love or commit murder. Kafka on the Shore displays one of the world's greatest storytellers at the peak of his powers. I love him. I love him, that's all I gotta say. I would give this a 9.5 out of 10 because his writing is just amazing, beautiful. And now we are getting into the books that I've recently picked up. So we have caved in and picked up The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and so far I am halfway in, and this one's definitely a page turner, like Little Secrets. Like I said, page turner books usually don't have much like artistic writing, but it's really good read because I can get through it and it's interesting to me. So that's the difference there. So far, I love the book, and let me just read a little bit of what it's about. So far, it really touches on topics that are relevant in today's world. So, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is a historical fiction model by this author. The novel tells the story of a fictional old Hollywood star, Evelyn Hugo, who at age 79, oh my god, I've never mixed up letters like that, am I dyslexic? Gives a final interview to an unknown journalist, Monique Grant. And it's definitely not what you expect at all. There's so much to it, and it's not like your old like Hollywood star fame and that kind of book. So highly recommend. The next book that I picked up is finally a Colleen Hoover book, which I gave into this one, and I picked up Verity. So Verity, it states here that it explores violence, trauma, and truth. The writer, Lowen Ashley, sees a man die on the way to a meeting with her publisher. She is aided by a handsome stranger named Jeremy. They bond immediately and share their recent personal experiences with grief. And judging from TikTok and all these book YouTubers and even like some other YouTube friends that I've seen post about it, it's definitely a page turner, so I'm excited to read that. The next book that I picked up is The Wind Up Bird Chronicles by Haruki Murakami. Yes, I'm in love with his writing. I really highly recommend his writing because it's literally art. Every time I read the book, I'm like, this is beautiful, this is art. And I don't even know what it's about. All my coworkers just said this book was really good, and I trust them because I trust Haruki Murakami. This one states that in a Tokyo suburb, a young man named Toru Okada searches for his wife's missing cat, and then for his wife as well, in another world beneath the city's placid surface. As these searches intersect, he encounters a bizarre group of allies and antagonists. And yeah, super excited about those. If you have read any of the books that I mentioned, or if you are reading some of the books that I mentioned, or you're gonna pick up some of the books that I mentioned, definitely let me know because I love discussing books. And last but not least, I just wanted to touch on a topic because I was addicted to like self-help books and I was reading them constantly. I would probably read like 10 self-help books a year. See, the issue that I have with this is I think that there comes a point in time where you could be like stuck in a self-help book world instead of taking action. Like you could be writing all these notes, like you could be just taking in so much information, and then you start wasting time just taking in information from all these different books because eventually most of them kind of have the same things. If you read at least 5, you'll find things that are similar. So if you're reading like 10 to 15 to 20 books, you're kind of, I don't want to say wasting your time because you're still learning and you're like reminding yourself of these things that you may have forgotten, but I think you should take action first and make sure that you are doing that and not procrastinating taking action. I did find myself doing that. Sometimes you do need like refreshers, and I think in order to do that, you should be like writing in your journal and keeping up with all of that in that sense. But yeah, from now on, I plan to only read maybe like 1 to 2 self-help books a year, just to like whenever I'm in a slump or anything like that. Also, when I'm in a slump, there's also really good TED Talks that can help me instead of I really don't want to use the word wasting my time, but personally, I really got stuck in the self-help world, and I know some people do get stuck just like me. So that's basically why I kind of stopped reading it. And like I said, I didn't stop indefinitely. I will still read it throughout time. I'm still in the middle of 101 essays that will change the way you think, but I just like to read like a couple chapters a month in case I'm stuck in life and just needed like a refresher. But yeah, that's just a little rant about self-help books. And yeah, that's pretty much today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let me know if you want more books like this because let me know if you want some more YouTube videos like this because I need to read more instead of going on social media. Like, reading more just helps me so much, and reading has helped my sleep immensely. Like, instead of going on my phone or instead of watching TV and limiting my screen time, I can sleep so much better. I can sleep earlier. I just feel so much better. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.